I'm going to play for you a incredible speech by President Bukele of El Salvador, who I think is a modern day leader who personifies everything that a leader should personify when it comes to taking care of his people, making sure that families have safety, peace, law and order, which is the bedrock to every other benefit as a society. Because without law and order, you have chaos and anarchy. There's no way to build education, to build jobs, the economy. There's no way to do any of that stuff. There's no infrastructure. There's no way to build any of that stuff without law and order. And what we've seen since 2020, and actually before that, but really things accelerated in 2020 with the BLM riots, and just this complete, utter disregard and disrespect for law, order, law enforcement, defund the police garbage that came out. We're seeing cities like Portland, cities like San Francisco, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, my beloved California that I've lived here for 40 years, with Gasm, that's his name, Gasm. I'm going to leave that in there. With gasping Newsom and Adam Schiff and Karen Bass and just all these, Dianne Feinstein. We have experienced the utter decay of the fifth largest economy in the world. And I want to play for you this amazing video of President Bukele, who was invited to a CPAC conference to speak in Washington, D.C. recently. And he gave a dire warning to the United States that I want you to hear. I want you to listen to this. But before I play this video, I just want to shed a little bit of light of what he has done for his country. Okay, so President Bukele, he's made unbelievable strides in improving the security situation, especially given El Salvador's past reputation. So it was considered in 2018 the murder capital of the world. He enlisted a program called Plan Control Territorial, which was very heavily stringent on reducing gangs and gang violence and crime. And by 2023, it became one of the safest places on earth. One of his notable achievements, okay, was the drastic reduction in the country's homicide rate. El Salvador went from having one of the highest homicide rates, check this stat out, 52 homicides per 100,000 inhabitants in 2018 to, exponentially lower. And then in 2021, the country reported its lowest homicide rate in decades, okay? He built this amazing, huge prison, okay, where he focused on gangs such as MS-13 and Barrio 18. A lot of human rights activists have given him guff and he really didn't treat these prisoners right. And it's the same kind of soft, woke, abysmal, soft on crime policies and ideologies that have completely destroyed my state, completely destroyed all of some of the best cities, Chicago, LA, LA, Chicago, and San Francisco are ghosts of themselves. Portland is an absolute, it's just absolute dystopia. It's dystopia. And so how did he do it? Why did he do it? How was he able to turn this country from, again, the murder capital of the world to literally the safest areas on the entire planet? I want you to watch this video because this speech that he gave, it's very short. I'm just going to play a short clip of this and we'll talk a little more of it. It's, to me, so poignant and it's so emblematic of what I think leaders should embody. I've told you that my favorite president is Theodore Roosevelt. Why? Because he had balls. He didn't kowtow and listen to the elitist, smug academicians that didn't have any balls, and all they did was live inside their head, and they never exercised. They never actually put anything into practice. They never, entered the arena of life. I'm pumped, y'all. I'm heated. This is the whole reason that I'm doing this with my channel. This is a huge risk for me to talk about these things. This is a huge risk for me. I had it made. I'm not trying to, anyway, enough of that. But this is the reason why I'm doing this, is because I believe in this stark warning by President Bukele. I think that America is headed in the antithesis direction of where we should be going and where our founding fathers, where our values and principles, just like the entire left has just left. You're seeing a lot of people, just a few notable ones, Joe Rogan, Michael Rappaport, you're seeing a lot of people like them who are starting to go like, you know what, this is insane. This gender affirming care, giving, allowing the state to take kids away from their parents. And, all this DEI stuff, hiring people and making movies at Disney based on these quotas. There's where you under the guise of inclusion, where there's anything but inclusion. All this woke ideology, this extreme radical left. White people are the villain. White people are evil. White people are privileged. White people are demonized. White people are the atrocity of a race. It's getting out of control. The stance on crime, people like Gascon in Los Angeles. But really, this is a lot of cities. Look what's happening in New York City. They're letting illegal migrants who beat up cops, they're letting them out with zero bail. And big shocker, they committed crimes again. Where does this philosophy on crime come from? Why? Perfect segue. Check out this amazing speech right here.
The disease that had begun with mild symptoms got worse and worse. It became a cancer that seemed incurable. We are already seeing these symptoms in the United States. Big cities in decline like Baltimore, Portland, New York, just to name a few. Places where crime and drugs have become the daily norm, and even accepted and promoted by the government. How many young people have you lost to the streets of Philadelphia or San Francisco, to fentanyl? Did we see this apocalyptic sites 15, 10, 5 years ago? Can you imagine how it will be in the next 5, 10, or 15 years? The same thing was happening in El Salvador. In the span of less than a decade, gangs took control of all the country and our society. They evolved into a parallel government, controlling elections and even political parties. Every aspect of the daily life of most people was controlled by the gangs. Murder capital of the world is a tragic title to hold. Getting rid of that was the bare minimum we had to achieve in order to even start thinking about rebuilding our country.
Powerful stuff. Powerful speech. I'd love to hear what you guys think. The highlights of some things that he said. It started off as a disease, turned into a cancer. Did you see these kinds of, apocalyptic? You look at places like San Francisco, Chicago, Los Angeles, Detroit, Washington, D.C., Portland. These kinds of, have you seen these apocalyptic type of outcomes 5-10 years ago? I definitely didn't. Like I said, going before 2020, before BLM, where DEI really got its boost was in 2020. The parasitic abomination of an ideology called DEI, where there's zero diversity, there's zero equity, and there's definitely no inclusion. Stark warning to America. What do you think is going to happen 5 to 10, 20 years from now if things continue like this? He said something so powerful that these gangs and drugs took over and almost became a parallel government, infecting every aspect of life, murder capital of the world, where they literally took over political decisions, government decisions, authoritarian oversight, compliance, everything. You could almost say that Venezuela is a microcosm. It is a preview of what could happen to the United States of America. We've got a border that is out of control. We got illegals pouring in left and right. These are not people who are looking for a good life. These are criminals coming from China, criminals coming from the Middle East, terrorists coming from the Middle East, criminals coming from South America, dangerous places in South America. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is giving him $10,000 credit cards while completely denying American citizens, American veterans, homeless American veterans who need that money. He's giving him, Gavin Newsom is giving him free health care. Joe Biden, it wants to enact laws and legislation that gives them the right to vote. Ding, 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 ding. Are we waking up now, y'all? Do you see why I'm doing this? Do you see why this is my purpose? This is my calling. This is why I feel so compelled, no matter what the ramifications are, which they're going to be. I'm already getting yelled at on a lot of different sides of so-called friends and friendly partners. It's already happening. But I just can't. I mean, the writing is on the wall. And this amazing speech by President Bukele of El Salvador, to me, really hits home. I'd love to, I'm going to pass this over to you guys. I would love to get your thoughts. What do you guys think of what he said? What do you guys think of that real cataclysmic warning saying that you guys are turning into what El Salvador used to be? You're lax on crime, lax on drugs, lax on gang violence, this no bail policy, this Prop 47 in California. What do you think of all that? I want to dive right into the comments now. Again, my intention is to bring this country together, to bring all of us together, whether you're watching this from the U.S. or you're watching this as an interested observer from another country. We have a lot of New Zealand, Australia, Europe, South America, South Africa, Germany, even Russia. I want to bring everybody together. So I think the best way to do that is through conversation, through debate, through collaborative ideas. It's not about my idea wins and your idea loses. It's the best idea. That's very American. The best idea should win. So as long as you're respectful, as long as you're constructive and insightful, willing to listen, willing to talk without disrespecting and no ad hominem personal attacks, I'm going to engage with you. Otherwise, I'm going to delete the comment and ban you from the channel. I'm not into personal attacks. I want to bring this country together. That's my aim. That is my mission. So let's dive into the comments and really have this enthralling, engaging, highly constructive and productive conversation in the comments. I want to hear from you. What do you think of this? What do you think of his speech? What do you think of what I'm saying? What do you think of what's happening? Do you think America is headed in the direction that President Bukele kind of forewarned us on? I would love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments. As always, check out these videos right here. Make sure you follow, subscribe if you made it this far. Subscribe to our free email newsletter. It's free. We don't spam or nothing. It's your sure-proof way of never missing out. As always, God bless the United States of America. God bless you, and I'll see you soon.